Find out what big WSU event is getting a lot of attention today,
and how our fire stations are increasing safety for firefighters, later on Murrow News 8.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Vasily Varlamos.
And I'm Drew Ambergy. Welcome to Murrow News 8. Today is Coug Gives, where the Cougar family comes together and donates to the university. I spoke to Cougs Give campaign director Spencer Farron on how the day is going so far.
It's been a really exciting day. Obviously, the giving numbers are great. As of lunchtime, we crossed 4.
The Cougs Give fundraiser ends at midnight tonight. More info can be found at cougsgive.wsu.edu.
Prices for everyday items continue to surge. The customer price index jumped 1.2% in March after rising 0.8% in February. The index increased 8.5% over the last 12 months. The biggest contributors to the increase include gasoline, shelter, and food costs. The gasoline index rose 18.3% in March and accounted for over half of the all-item monthly increases alone. Jeff Luckstead, Associate Professor of Agriculture, Economics, and International Trade at WSU, said a mixture of issues including the pandemic and the Ukrainian conflict caused the spike.
It's also going to be tied into the Ukrainian war with rising gasoline prices, disruptions in gasoline markets with sanctions on Russia. That's leading to higher fertilizer prices, which is going to lead to higher food prices.
The city of Pullman is updating its code limiting unrelated occupants in a single affordable housing unit. Washington State Legislature passed Senate Bill 5235 last year, allowing more than 3 unrelated occupants to live together in an affordable housing unit. Community Development Director R.J. Lott proposed a change to Pullman City Code to match the state law. Lott said the move makes finding homes easier and cheaper for Pullman residents seeking affordable housing.
Well, affordable housing has been an issue in Pullman and really the rest of the state. So the governor has put forth a lot of effort to try to open up the housing options for low and middle income individuals.
The Pullman Fire Department received a $15,000 grant from the Department of Labor and Industries. Our live reporter Colby Enebrad is on the scene at Fire Station 2 to tell us more.
Thanks, Vasily. This grant will help fund the Firefighter Injury and Illness Reduction Program, and what this money is specifically going towards is a new exhaust capturing system. Now, this system right here, this coupling is supposed to link up to a vehicle exhaust while they're running inside the garage. What's going on right now is the system that needs to be replaced, the old one, is about 10 years old and only has 3 magnets. However, let me pick this up again. This one has 11. These rings right here are those magnets that are supposed to attach to the vehicles. While these vehicles are running in the garage, they obviously need the emissions to be funneled out of this station. That is what this tube is for. Once these are connected to the exhaust pipe, those emissions go through this tube and is funneled out into the atmosphere. Now, Assistant Chief of Services, Ray Murrow, has said that these systems right here will help reduce those emissions by 90 to 95%.
Our personnel are happy that they're going to be decreasing their exposure to carcinogens. We had already budgeted to start replacing these attachment points, but this grant just made it so that we can just do them all at once.
This has been Colby Enebrad, live in Pullman at Station 2 with Murrow News 8.
Thanks, Colby. According to Pullman Radio, 22-year-old Keegan Tennant pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter, aggravated assault, concealing evidence, and principal to robbery for shooting high school student Tim Reeves in July of 2017. Tennant is facing 6 probation violations, including possession of a firearm. If convicted, Tennant could face up to 30 years in prison.
The Gritman Medical Center in Moscow ended operations of its COVID-19 drive-through test site. The center moved all operations into the hospital and clinic. Latah County reported up to 25 new cases and over no new deaths. The Whitman County has reported 12 new cases as of Monday. Up next, find out how flying out of Pullman just became more time efficient.
And we'll talk about what one of our reporters was up to during spring break. Up next.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is. Hey, thanks for your patience. Thank you.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
The Moscow Pullman Regional Airport has a new and improved method for baggage scanning. TSA will now send checked bags through this new X-ray scanner you see on your screen. Passengers will no longer have to check their bags by hand. The baggage scanner is currently being installed and will be active in the near future.
Speaking of travel, Murrow News 8 reporter Abby Davis recently traveled to Serbia. Abby spoke with some students and a professor about why they think fighting for good journalism is worth it, even though they may face verbal or even physical attacks.
In Serbia, a generation of young journalists is fighting against declining press freedoms.
It's a job with a huge responsibility to the society.
Not everything that you see is true. Not everything that you hear is true.
I'm right in front of the University of Novi Sad, where about 5,000 students are enrolled. 35 of those students study journalism in the Media Studies Department, which was founded in 2004. Journalism professors are helping build a solid foundation for these students who are entering a profession that isn't well respected or protected.
It's a profession that is insecure, not only in terms of possible attacks to journalism, but in terms of pay, in terms of working hours.
Students Diana Dotsian and Andrea Knezovic are not deterred by challenges journalists face and say having a platform to bring about change is important.
Finding solutions to burning problems and questions that exist are what I want to do. When you finish a story and you find something that was illegal, some crime and stuff like that that can be shown to the public, then it must be worth it.
Those at the university are optimistic about the future in spite of all the darkness.
I think that we are enrolling more and more people who really feel passionate about it. People who really think that journalism is not just a job that you do from 9 to 5, but it's a calling.
Us young journalists have a space to make the media a better place.
In Novi Sad, Serbia, I'm Abby Davis.
The snow finally seems to have faded away today, but could it still once again show itself this spring? Let's send it over to Michelle at the Weather Wall for some answers. Michelle?
Well, Vasily, I don't think we're done with the snow just yet, but today we are experiencing some beautiful blue skies. As you can see, we have a high of 42 and a low of 25, and the sun's supposed to set tonight around 7:34 p.m. But as we roll into tomorrow, this is whenever we can see there's going to be some rain and some snow, but the temperatures are going to remain about the same at 41 and 25. But the sun is going to rise around 6:03 tomorrow morning and set around 7:28 p.m. Moving on over here to the state map, we can see our neighbors over here in Spokane are experiencing some beautiful clear skies today with a high of 44 and a low of 26. When we move over here to the central side of the state, though, this is whenever we can start to see some clouds. Tri-Cities over here is getting a high of 49 and a low of 31, and they have some overcast skies today, a little cloudy, but over here in Yakima, there's a high of 44 before, and they are getting some rain and some snow, so we're at least not them yet. And then over here on the west side of the state, we can see nothing's new. Seattle is rainy with a high of 47 and a low of 35. And over here in Olympia, it's a little partly cloudy, and then we have a high of 45 and a low of 32. I'm going to move over here so you can see the 5-day forecast. The next 3 days, the temperatures are going to be in the early to mid 40s. We're going to get some rain and some snow. But as we move out of the weekend into the next week, we can start to see the temperatures going to start to warm up. And hopefully we'll see some sun, and hopefully Monday will be sunnier rather than rainier. But that's all I have for you guys today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Michelle. Hopefully we can get rid of that snow. Find out who is getting signed for WSU basketball.
And what's next for our track and field team after the break?
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Today is the signing period for college basketball, and with WSU coming off their best season in a decade, fans are eager to see who signs in the last period for the 2022 class. Cook fan writer Jamie Vinnick says Dylan Darling is fully expected to sign today or tomorrow. Solomon Aminu is also expected to sign, but could potentially reclassify for the 2023 class. WSU will need a few more players with the departures of Flowers, Rapp, and Williams. This signing period will end on May 18. The Washington State men and women track and field team has a busy week ahead, as the Cougs will be heading down to California for the three meets this week. Competitions begin Wednesday, April 13, with Brian Clay Invitational and Mount Sac Relays, while the Pacific Coast Intercollegiate will take place on Friday, April 14th.
Thanks, Shagun. We'll be back after the break.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
The life of WSU employees may look slightly different next year. WSU Human Resource Services released a survey Tuesday to evaluate work-life balance initiative. The program suggests cutting or limiting Friday meetings or making cameras optional on Zoom. Feedback from the survey will help determine the next steps for the university regarding meetings.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.